How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, where we're talking about this, that, and everything in between. I really appreciate you guys coming today for this lovely Wednesday. So we are going to be talking about the business deliverability today in today's show. But before we get started, I want to make sure that you guys like and subscribe. Make sure that you join the membership. Uh, for you guys that are still active on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, because TikTok is still down. It's dark. Like you can't stream from America on your TikTok platform. You can still see TikTok, but it's still not there. We're waiting on 47 to do something about it, and until he do it, we're gonna figure it out. Uh, so for the rest of you guys that are here, make sure that you guys click the mic, approve the camera, approve the microphone, or click the link. I'm sorry, approve the mic, approve the camera, and then we bring you onto the show live. We'll be able to talk about this, that, and everything in between, anything in line with today's topic or any straw man side topics. As long as you're over the age of 18, I want you to be able to get up into the green room, confirm that you've grown. You got to be looking grown and behaving appropriate. Jump up onto the podcast, and if and when that occurs, then we throw you up on the screen. You don't have to have your camera on. You can turn your camera off if you like. It's up to you. I still encourage you guys to like and subscribe. Make sure you join the membership. When you do join the membership, any merchandise that you decide to pick up has discount prices with certain merchandise stores. So make sure that before you purchase from the store, if you are a member, that you reach out for the promo code, because the promo codes will be dispersed based on the stores that you are buying merchandise from. Uh, Outside of that, we are live 7 nights a week, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 5 Pacific. I hope you guys can join us every day of the week, but if you can only be here on some days out of the week, make sure that you take a look at the channel, because we're adding new content every day of the week. We are scheduled out right now as far out as 2 weeks. Right now, we've got the next 7 days, but we're going to be getting another 10 days going up by the end of tomorrow, because I got a pretty locked up schedule right now, so I'm trying my best to get it all done. Because I've got promotions that I got to do. I've got content to endorse, videos to edit. I got so much stuff that I got to do that I have to get the rest of the next week and the week after that put up there. But as you see it, it'll pop up there. You'll just hit the notification button and you'll be good to go. And then it'll remind you when the show is going to air, like an hour before the show airs, 30 minutes before the show airs. And then it'll let everyone know that is subscribed to the channel that the show has aired, so that if you didn't hit the notification button, you still get that notification that we are at least live. I understand we're coming up to Black Friday, so I got some promos that I want to talk to you guys about coming soon about Black Friday shopping. So keep your eyes open for that. We already had the box wine dispenser on the show. We've had and the box wine dispenser is holding up on its own, and we've had the Atlas Nutrients, the super vitamin gummies that helps improve your physical condition, and it does work, because I had a poor health. Took the gummies and felt like I was like Popeye when I took spinach. I've been taking the gummies twice a day. Like, dang, these things are good. And then they're so delicious to the point where I'm trying my best not to eat the whole thing in one sitting. So I just recommend that you give it a shot. Take a look at some of those videos that we got on the channel, and it will redirect you to where you can purchase those products if you're interested in it. We had the White Lotus stuff up there. It's almost time for me to do another video of the White Lotus stuff, to showcase the aftershocks of the White Lotus stuff. There's supposed to be some skin cream stuff and a pillow. I got to reach out to them later today. I'm going to be talking to you about the pillow, probably even have the pillow on the podcast, because it's a cervical pillow. It'd be really good for back support sitting in this chair. So for more than one reason. So, it's like, hey, I find multiple uses for my stuff, because when I buy things, it's durable. So I definitely make sure that when I come across stuff that's really nifty, I'm going to let you guys know about it. Any services like Ken is going to be here on Friday. I'm going to talk to you guys about Ken on Friday. He's going to be the content writer that is going to be showing us what he does and how he does it, and we're going to be able to do a nice little spinoff with him. I also have highlights from when Alan was here from Crestify, who is also the owner of Oli Dog Treats. So We had him on the show all last week, so we were dealing with, or not all last week, we had him on the show last week, and we're starting to release some highlights of that show this week. So you can take a look at some of the highlights, or you can watch the whole show from Crestify. The Crestify show, where small business owners, and he has two businesses where he's building his brand. He's building two separate brands, in fact, and he's getting himself on his feet. And a lot of people are going into freelance work and entrepreneurships and building their own businesses and setting it up in a way where they can automate those businesses so that those businesses can run themselves. And that's the mentality of capitalism that we need to maintain for 2025. And I've been encouraging that since I've seen that it was going to go in the direction that it already went. I didn't even have to get out my chair. I'm like, I already know who got it. So today we're talking about business deliverability, and I thought that it'd be a good idea for me to go ahead and talk about business deliverability because it is part of business. And what better way to maintain the ability to talk to your market area, your customer base, through your ability to deliver messages to and from your customers from your business. So I just want you guys to take your time and join me as I dive deep into the hidden pitfalls that could be killing your business from deliverabilities. And I'll share with you some of the top strategies to turn things around. So when it comes to the business communication and customer engagement, deliverability is critical. Now, what is deliverability is one of the things that you would say. And deliverability is basically delivering a message to your customer. So communication is key. Now, think about this though. If your emails aren't landing on your customers' inboxes when you're sending mass mail out, or if you're sending advertisements to future customers, you're missing out on the opportunity to build relationships with people you don't already have relationships with, or drive sales to your business, or situations where you're not able to grow your business because you're not able to get the word out that either you're still here, you're doing something new, or you just got here and they should come and check you out. So, what stands in the way of your business communication reaching out to the customers or any specific intended audience is what we're going to be trying to figure out today. One of the first things that we have a problem with is poor list management. And I've experienced poor list management plenty of times in my day. And poor list management leads to very long and extensive and boring and traumatic cold calls, because you end up going through this whole list of people that have a phone number that may not be still in business and definitely not really considering or interested in your product. And now all of a sudden you're bringing it to their attention, and now they're supposed to be wanting to get into your product. That's hard. Cold calls. Warm leads or hot leads are leads where somebody wants you to contact them about the product. Those hot leads come from somebody filling out an application online. That's a warm lead because they filled out the application online because they were interested in the service. That puts that person in a listserv where that person then gets called by a call center's dialing machine, and then you are being put with somebody who can convince you the rest of the way to make that purchase. So if you were just doing an inquiry, just trying to find out what if, now you're in a listserv, and now they're going to harass you with calls because you're on this listserv. Poor lists is an issue. And these lists are not just email lists, but email lists are one of the ones that really are impacted by deliverability. Cold calls from a call center also, it's a waste of time when you got people that are calling from a call center being paid about an hour to call a certain number of people to get a yes from at least one of them. The whole time they're getting no's, that's a waste of money, because you have, or the whole time they're not even connecting to the customer before they can even not get a no, they're weeding through an inaccurate or invalid list, and that's something that is negatively impacting the productivity of your business. So when purchasing email lists, this can lead to low engagement rates because the email list is going to just have a list of emails that are related to a listserv for whatever purpose. And as these recipients have not opted in to receive your communication, meaning they did not seek your service first before you contacted them, these people would, one, wasn't interested in your communication, but two, it'll sour their opinion towards you. So this would damage your reputation. It would damage the reputation of the sender. And as a result, those emails will be marked as spam. And that's a problem because once your email gets marked as spam, mods will take your emails and dump them in the trash before the person who owns that email ever gets a chance to see emails from you. Now, an inactive subscriber is another issue because continuing to send emails to an unengaged recipient can signal to IPs that your emails are unwanted, leading to lower deliverability rates. And regularly cleaning your list to remove inactive users is essential, but very few people do it. You know that it takes 10 to 15 minutes to empty your Gmail. Like, seriously, when's the last time you emptied your Gmail? If you were to go into your Gmail right now, go back 3 pages. That way it's not something about today. Select all of everything else, select delete. You would have 900,000 text emails that you would have to delete. And it would take quite a few minutes to empty out your email, to bring you all the way back down to less than 100 emails, right? Now, out of the thousands upon thousands of emails that we get, because most of us don't even have our cell phone set to push notification where we know we even getting emails, especially once we know how to turn that ding off, because when we're getting spammed emails, we getting message after message after message of ads that we're not really interested in at the time. So going into a spam folder is going to be the worst thing for your company to do for that particular individual, because they're no longer going to receive communication from your company, and then they're no longer going to have knowledge that your company has good business. Now, spam filters are the majority of the obstacles that businesses have when they're advertising for services and products, or discounts on services and products. They're designed to protect users from unwanted emails, but sometimes they can be too aggressive and can do things like flagging legitimate emails as spam if you're getting too many emails from a specific source in a short period of time, or if you're not getting enough emails from a specific source over a long period of time, or if the system doesn't recognize the email or the .com or .net or whatever source that the email came from until you save it to your folder, it's going to mark it as suspicious, which redirects it so the person who's looking through their mail is not looking through their spam box first, because spam box is stuff they definitely don't want. Everything that has been marked unread is stuff that they should be looking at. And then when they click certain things, the things that got read are the things that they're interested in. So if your emails consistently land in a spam folder and are marked as junk, this is going to hurt the reputation and make it harder to reach your audience via email. This can also negatively affect your ability to connect to your clients via paper mail, via snail mail, because if you're sending packages to individuals and they're coming back or they're going straight into the trash, then you're not able to reach the customer. And it makes it hard for you to expand or maintain the business when you're not able to get the right customer base to show up and participate in the local engagements. Now, this can be easily taught for new businesses or those that send high volumes of emails. IPs and emails, these providers get smarter about filtering out unwanted emails, which means businesses need to be more strategic about how they approach email marketing. Furthermore, data that is breached and list scrapping has made it very easy for spammers to send emails. So when you delete something, you need to delete it all the way. You need to not just hit the trash button. You need to hit the empty the trash button and then potentially do a manual override on the thing to make sure that everything is the way it's supposed to be. Now, since this has led to even tighter restrictions on emails, we still have situations like content issues. Using all caps and subject lines, exclusive images, or key stuffing can trigger the restricted mods from allowing your transaction to occur. Now, a good rule of thumb for maintaining text to image ratios of at least 60% text, which means that your picture can be 40%, but 60% of the page must be text. I mean, yeah, 60% of the page must be text, and the other 40% can be an image. So you can start a quarter of the way down or 2/3 of the way down, but you want to make sure that more than a fourth of the possession that he has is ready to go. Now, we're dealing with the attachments in media. The large attachments can be flagged by spam filters. And instead of considering links to files hosted on external servers, you actually start finding different ways to shop and do business. So authentication protocols of PDFs, DKIMs, and DRMCs are crucial for establishing your credibility as a sender. If you are not using these protocols, you're leaving yourself wide open. They're telling you that if you go through the motions of putting your stuff where it needs to be at, you will find yourself where you need to be at, making the money that you need to live the life that you want. I got to tell you, with all the stuff that I got going on right now, that sounds like a trust. Push the wrong button. That sounds like a trust thing. Look at me. Burnt out, y'all. Burnt out. But if you're not using these protocols, you're leaving yourself open to phishing scams and spoofing. And phishing scams and spoofing is going to be individuals that drop into your DMs asking you questions so that they can get answers from you, and then they use those answers to give you certain questions that put you in a position where you're giving them all your personal knowledge, and they can use your personal identity that you voluntarily gave them against them. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't tell them nothing. They come asking me questions, I treat them like a cop. I'm like, no. You get to know me first, and then I'll tell you what's going on. Because, I mean, being worth something means that I'm worth protecting. These situations that we're going through, where the economy is gaining more debt voluntarily, and the people aren't able to pay it back very well, you got to remember that we're going to be dealing with a deficit, and the deliverabilities are going to positively impact the rate that you receive your deficits, your deliverables. So let's not forget about the hygiene thing. If you're sending emails to unengaged subscribers or people who opt in, who don't opt in, it's a receipt for the disaster. IPS are monitoring engagement metrics. So if your emails are consistently being deleted or ignored, it is going to hurt your reputation online. So like I told you, if you have it set up where the person who you're trying to call, it's their birthday, you set it up, and then you use some of the internet off of the birthday party, you can work it out where you can make money for you and still be able to be in line with the loopholes. Failing to step up properly, that's going to be a situation. Your proper email authentication protocols need to be followed to the letter. Now, you can make your emails appear less trustworthy to IPS, which can hinder this deliverability. But once you're able to master most of critical factors affecting the deliverability in this contest qualifying, you would get flagged if your emails are filled with spammy words like dodgy links or misleading subjects. It's essential to ensure your emails are well written and relative to provide well valued to you subscribers. Moreover, the type of content you're sending can also impact your deliverability for the situations where your sending attraction or usage money. That's $100 to many images. It can raise red flags with ISPs. So finally, a frequently and volume of your a frequency and volume of your emails can also affect deliverability. It can be seen as spammy behavior if you send too many emails frequently. So if you go to one of those chat bots and you're throwing stuff up, sup anonymous. Real quick, we're gonna take a pure sideways. Anonymous just jumped in. You asked me how I'm doing. Hey. I'm tired, bro. I'm tired. I'm trying to make it. Trying to get in there. Are you making it work as well? Let's see where are we at right now. We are talking about Silver Slither. Low open and click through rates. Now you're gonna have that problem on YouTube, amongst other places. When you're dealing with low open and click through rates, this can indicate poor engagement with your emails, which IPs monitor closely. So if your receipts frequently ignore or delete your emails without opening them, it can harm your sender's reputation. However, it'll keep you from being hacked. So low open and click through rates in indicating poor engagements with your emails, which is ISP monitored closely. If recipients frequently ignore or delete your email without opening them, it can harm your sender's reputation. Then we have the irregular sending schedule that can be confused. Subscribers are about when to expect your emails, leading them to forget about their subscriptions. That's when you start really making money. So consistency helps maintain engagements and recognition. Recognition was the standard deviation in that particular one. So make sure that you guys let me know what you think about this so far, as you like and subscribe. I gotta tell you, I am totally burned out. But you know what? This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna grab us a couple of these because I told you guys that Atlas Nutrients got these gummies, and the gummies are like life, bro. We gotta take a couple of that one. That one was the testosterone one, and this one's the magnesium glycite. Take a handful of them, man. Told you I'd be popping them like Skittles. And then 15 minutes into the podcast, I got more strength than Samson. So, moving along with that second win, here's a key insight that can dramatically improve deliverability. This is rated on a business scale. Focus on building a strong sender relationship by sending targeted personalities and reveal the emails to encourage your subscribers to like and subscribe. This means understanding your artist. So sometimes your list and you're creating content that results in them both. You also have some that are additionally making sure that you are more than likely to write. You got some that are complaining with the anti-value, which is leading to a negative value. And then you have the same thing with the negative and positive values for which part of the person's body did you cut. There's a thing for that around here. So making sure you're complying with anti-spam laws and regulations, and always providing a clear unsubscribed link where they can unsubscribe if they want to without additional penalty. By doing this, you'll build trust with your subscribers and increase the likelihood of your emails. Now, the landing page, that's a topic in and of itself. The landing page and their inboxes. Another crucial aspect is monitoring your email performance regularly and adjusting your strategy accordingly, which is what I've told you guys plenty of times. If you need subscribers, do not receive a welcome email or introduce shortly after signing up. They may forget who you are or why they subscribe. You're leading to higher chances of them making future emails in the future, marking those as spam. So if you're not paying attention to your deliverability rates, you are leaving money on the table indirectly. And by understanding the communication pitfalls that can hurt your deliverabilities and implementing strategies to improve it, you can increase your open rates, drive more conservation and utility growth and business growth. Once you experience all those, you're in the green. So to improve email delivery rates, some of the best things that we can do to adopt into our business is use a double opt-in subscriber list where they got to approve to get in and then they got to register their email. When endorsing that concept, genuinely want to receive your emails. If you have regularly clean your There it is. Clean your email list and remove inactive subscribers. Authenticate your emails with SPF and DKIM settings, which is manually stuff. But you're going to maintain a healthy balance between text and images in your emails, sending relevant content tailored to the interests of different subscriber segments, and monitoring engagements metrics closely and adjust stories or strategies based on the performance data of the set. Now, boy, I got to tell you, this is tough. By addressing these common pitfalls and implementing best practices, businesses can significantly enhance their email deliverability rates, ensuring enduring, as either way how you do it, their messages reach the intended audience. So they're doing this. What they're doing is they're setting everything up where the automated system can go out on a regular basis and tag the intended person and bring that person back to purchase some money. Probably why they haven't changed the tires yet. Another thing is that even if you don't have a digital set, if you have on your set the ability to cold call for something that's done on your head, like getting your hair done or something to that effect, you got to be able to go there and get that stuff done. So when you're dealing with setting up a contract with a client, like I've actually had to experience that with my ventures on Affluencer, and when you're dealing with a client, you got to make sure that you meet their expected deadline. So you got to send them some of their product and then send them some more of their product a few weeks later, where you're delaying the existence of the product until you can get it to them, but you're not actually causing yourself hold times on the person's other capitals. So all of these things play huge factors into your deliverabilities, but you got to make sure that if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. So you got to make sure that you put your shoes in the front seat so that you don't lock yourself out of the back seat, and then make it do what it do. Because truth be told, it's more than just shoes. It's like getting out there and kicking some butt. So we've got Jocelyn here. What's up, bro? With them shades, are they prescribed? Yeah, they are. I've got 2 pairs of prescription glasses. They cost $805 a piece. They're not cheap, but they do come with their added benefits because they are on my driver's license, which also means that these prescription glasses are allowing me to have tinted windows on my car to the exact same magnitude of these glasses. While that is an interesting concept for me to do, it is not something that I would actually put myself into specifically because I would get pulled over on a regular basis because they don't know that I have legal documentation to tint the car windows. So while it's a cool thing to do, I also have to pay extra money to get that done because I have to pay extra money to get the tax stamp in order for me to be able to tint the windows. But I can because these are prescribed. Then I got to pay extra money to get the tent. Then I have to leave early because I will get pulled over everywhere because I have that tent. It is, yeah, the issue. So if I wanted to get like limo tent or police tent on my vehicle, I would do that to the type of vehicle that I wouldn't want people looking into. But I'd have to get that permit first. But lucky for me, I've got these glasses, but they're not cheap though. So if a pair gets broken, I get 2 at a time, which is like $1,600 value, $1,650 value, and I get 2, and they last me for 1 to 2 years, 18 months on average. If one pair gets broken, that's like $800 gone. Do you know that these glasses actually frames and lenses cost more money than Ray-Bans? I can't find too many glasses, too many non-prescription glasses that cost as much as these prescription glasses. Even matter of fact, they had the GI smart glasses that actually has like the text going across the screen and the map and all stuff. Them some guns is like with your with this prescription in those glasses, that one would be $823, which is a little under $20 more, but $20 more than $20 when you start including shipping to get this prescription on those glasses. And those glasses cost $500 because these lenses are like $399 a piece. It is something else, bro. I got to tell you. But I'm glad that you asked about them because I mean, I got them on. I've been wearing them on the show for a whole year. I've been wearing them since I was 14. So, I've gotten used to having them on. It's just, I got so many females. Oh, let me see your eyes. I was like, no, you're gonna have to invest in the stock for that, ma'am. I'm gonna need 98% stocks. we be we be trying to have a casual conversation and people be trying to intimidate the situation saying, oh, I don't feel comfortable talking to people if I can't see their eyes. I'm like, well, the only way you're going to talk to me is like this. So if you're not talking to me, you ain't seeing shit because the fact is that they're always on. I had one woman say, oh, well, what do I got to do to get you to take those glasses off? I'm like, they only come off my face in a dark room. So the only way you're going to get these glasses off of me is in a dark room. That's an invitation back to the house, and that leads to something. I subscribe. Hey, I appreciate it. Make sure that you like and subscribe. I got a lot of stuff going on, man. I'm burnt out today. I was talking about the deliverability of the business, but staying in communication with your customers is one of the other things that I wanted to talk about right when I seen your comment. And I talk about everything under the sun, inequalities with social interactions, with gender inequalities. Now, not race inequalities, because let's be honest, it's not really so much that people are messing with other people because of the color of their skin. It is your mentality, your behavior patterns, your poor choices, and maybe your financial status might be reasons why people don't treat you right. But beyond that, you don't have really anything holding you back with being successful. You got people that are just dicks for the sake of being dicks, and your color of your skin don't make them a dick. They were a dick because you walked up. It had nothing to do with you. They were born that way, like Uncle Ruckus. They're just being difficult to be difficult, So when it comes down to that, yeah, I would say that truth be told, we could go ahead and work that work, and then Yeah, we've got the business and finance topics, starting up business topics, interactions topics. We got a couple guest stars that come to the show. They're talking about their companies and the services that they provide. So we got a lot of stuff that is starting to be tuned more business related. We were talking about all kinds of off the wall topics. I had a co-host that used to be on the show back in the day, but he didn't last, and he wanted to talk about all kinds of random stuff. And some of it was entertaining and some of it was embarrassing, and there was some that just didn't fly. That I was like, no, I will not start the podcast if that's the topic of the show. But the rest of the time, like, so the stuff just gets in there. But you should definitely like and subscribe. You should always make sure that you join the membership. You should always take a look at some of the stuff that's in the member stores. Make sure that you take a look at some of the, because we should have some pop-up links that happen with some of our branded content. If it hasn't been happening, I'm going to have to schedule it and make it happen. But putting everything together, what's a good amount to start in a stock? Well, we actually talked about that the other day. It depends. What country are you doing a stock in? When it comes down to investing in a stock, you can go as low as $200 investing into a stock if you're doing penny stocks, if you're doing small investments. If you're doing regular stock options, usually the product is anywhere between $10 and $200 per share, and they have contracts. They have contracts, and the contracts are 100 shares is considered a contract. So if you have a $25 share, then you got to buy 100 of those, which is $2,500. So when you're looking at the value, when you're doing options trading, when you're looking at the value of the stock, you got to multiply that value by 100, and that's how much you need to put in to buy that stock. Overall in investments, what's the least amount of money you can put in to get some money back? I mean, $10, you can get back $5 if you get a 50% increase. But if you're really trying to deal with significant gains, if you put up 10 stacks in the Bitcoin before the election, your 10 stacks would have been 20 stacks by December. Well, no, actually, it would have been 20 stacks by November, and then you would have had to pull it out before it started going on that decline. Because once it goes on that decline, it's going to go all the way back below your 10 stacks. Then you're only going to have 5 stacks, and you're just going to have to leave it there until it reaches back up to 100 grand. But if you take your money and you invest in other countries, like we did a show about that a few days ago, investing in other countries, the US dollar goes a lot longer of a way in places like Singapore, Japan, the Philippines, uh, Canada, uh, I can't remember all because I think I did like 10 countries, 10 or 15 countries in the last 2 weeks of places that you can go to invest your money and set up offshore banking so that you can have direct deposits of your dividends from your offshore investments to your offshore bank account. And I did a show about the offshore bank account, and I did a show about the trust, and I did a show about putting everything under a business name, and a business name is under a trust name, and then you are a beneficiary of that trust. I did all of those shows already in the past 2 to 3 weeks. So if you took your money, you went offshore, and you took your money, you go offshore with your money, and you turn around and you flip it and you make your money back. uh you would be able to get a lot more back. So you could bring $10,000 to Singapore at 40% interest and 40%, even though it's going to be a currency exchange and all that stuff, with the 40% interest that comes back off of Singapore's economy, you would be turning 10 grand into like 14.8. So, and that's higher percentage ratings than what we got in the US, because outside of Bitcoin, that's on average 80%. Gold is at like 15% to 20% from time to time. And then you have silver that's somewhere around 5 or 10% from time to time. You have your treasury bonds that are less than 1% most of the time, sometimes 2.5%, depending on what the economy looks like, because the government bonds are modified to include the cost of inflation. And then after that, you're just doing a bunch of high risk lending to small or big businesses that hopefully don't flop before they give you your money back. Now you're asking, what's the most I have less invested on? I mean, I put $250,000 in at one time. So I think that probably, And then I also invest in myself. I invest in my businesses, the businesses that I have, because I got like 4 of them right now. So I invest in those, and they turn out profits from me. Uh, but just like saying like what's the most now what's the most that I've gotten back off of investing, um, on my worst day, I would say about 30-40%. On my best day, I've drawn back that 80%. Um, I've also done drop shipping where I've gone in there and I didn't maintain it for no long period of time, but I went in there for 2 or 3 months doing drop shipping, and then I just changed, uh, and threw in there a I think I was pulling back like 10 to 15 bands a month off of drop shipping at one point in time, but I still have to monitor the product. I got to monitor. I got to do bidding wars with people in order to get the product. So I didn't like doing all that. I wanted to do something where I could just put my money somewhere that my effort wasn't, and the money turned over more money. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do this no more, because no matter how much you automate drop shipping, you still got to re-up the product or pay somebody to re-up the product so that the product keeps coming in, so that the people can keep buying the product. So that's just an issue. $100 like is a good way to go if you're gonna be if you could go to Stash, and they can flip you money a couple times. Do Acorn, they can flip you money a couple times. So there's a lot of places that you can go to invest. This guy would say, would you still be interested in playing playing the game? Ah, oh, yeah, I think you're looking for Mr. Pibbs to play the game. I'm not familiar with that particular one, but yeah, I don't have an issue with trying to figure that part out, getting on the game, because well, actually, I'm gonna be real with you. I actually got a 3 or 4 contracts after the show today. So when I get off the show today, I gotta fulfill a couple of requirements so that I can get cuts. I gotta get pay cuts, and then after I get them cuts, then I can jump on a game. But yeah, uh, so he's got. uh, It's a horror hunting game. Okay, all right. Been a while since I've heard about stuff like that. I mean, I usually people are talking to me about like Need for Speed, or uh, GTA or Halo or Call of Duty or something like that. I've got Eve Online where we can get in there and build a faction and start industrializing things, but I haven't I haven't heard of that particular one. Um, Oh, and since we're getting crept up on, we're one step away from, because we're like a week away, because Thanksgiving is next week. I got some promos I got to do for Thanksgiving. I got to throw some stuff up there to let you guys know that there's some ads, so the ladies want to spend some money, they can spend some money on themselves, because not too many people really take care of the guys. But there's an app out there. I'm going to get the information for you guys, and I'm going to put up a show about it later this week. Not a whole show, like a post video of the product, where you guys can kind of see what it does. You take pictures of certain things, and then it allows you to compare prices of what's in the photo versus the value of it, if you was to try to buy it, I guess nearby or online, something like that. And then that helps you build a shopping list of things that you want to get. Which I guess that would be a good data collection situation, because people who use that app, the information from that app could be sold to marketers, where the marketers know what people are interested in buying, so that they can sell to that type of market and make a profit. So yeah, I got a lot of things that I got to do today. So tomorrow's supposed to be my day off. So I got a couple things I got to do between now and midnight. Then I got a few things to do until 3 a.m. And then after 3 a.m., then I can wrap it up for the next few days and throw in the towel and call it a day. But as it stands right now, I'm like, whew, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. I am burnt out. Um, I had so many brands that I was dealing with over the past couple days that I actually have had 12 conferences since yesterday at midnight. I am tired. Like, no, like midnight last night. So we are about 3 or 4 hours away from the 24-hour point. I started midnight last night, and I ran through 9 a.m. I had a 6-hour sleep, and then I picked up and did another 3 or 4 more hours. And then I got ready for the podcast. So I didn't get that much sleep today, and I'm operating on 4 out of 48. I'm gonna have to make that a shirt. Operating on 4 out of 48 hours. They're gonna be like, "Whoo! I know the feeling. I know the feeling." Talk about being burned out. But successful people are only successful because they don't give up on themselves, and they don't give up on their businesses, and they put a lot of time and effort into their businesses. And one of the things that is really good when you do achieve, you start getting those payouts, you start locking in those deals, you start getting those callbacks, you start really being excited about the business that you're starting to build, because you're starting to get that rapport that you were looking for. So even though I am tired and I got a day off, I'm still going to work half of that day. The fact is that I'm looking at the ability to say, dang, I can do that and not worry about it. I can do that. I can get mine and not worry about it. Then, instead of me having to check in with somebody else and move at their beat, do what they say do so that I can get my money from them, or they will let me go after I've did the work and not get paid for it, I can literally do the work and get paid for it, and then I'll be good with it. You know what I'm saying? So I like the business, being able to run my own business. I like being able to get my own incomes, but I also like having the ability to get some sleep. So I enjoy the revenue as it comes in, but I also understand the fact that it's hard work. So I got to give big ups to every podcaster that's ever been on their own podcast, because I know firsthand that it takes a lot to make your podcast successful. It takes a lot to go in there and get stuff done. Uh, it's just one of those things that, once you start doing it, you're like, dang, that's a lot. I know my buddy, he comes up and he's like, trying to make it seem like he's gonna do the same thing I'm doing, and he ain't doing it the way I'm doing it, but I ain't gonna worry about it. I'm gonna let him figure the situation out. As I make it successful, that is as he will follow in my footsteps. But I mean, mentorship comes to those who listen and follow instructions. And saying that you listen and follow instructions is not the same as actually doing as you're told. A lot of people get upset about that and get offended by the fact that you're expected to follow the lead of a leader in order to become a leader yourself. They don't like being told what to do, so their defiance interferes with success. But, hey, you got to let them interfere with their own success and then go out there and do your own thing, right? Um, Beyond that, I wanted to talk to you guys real quick. I got another little side story, because we own this and that. We talk about this, that, and everything in between. So I got me another little side story. I was going through the comment section, so I actually do read the comments on the social media platforms. I actually do read the comments. So don't think I don't read the comments. I check the messages. When you send me messages, I check the messages. So even when you dive into the messages and try to troll, I check the messages. And I had a female, because we did a show. I was talking about the money. And I was talking about how a man should be able to be in control of the money, of his money specifically, because men are usually the one with the money when they get into a relationship with the woman, because the man has to have money as a requirement from the woman. So typically the money that's being spent is the man's money. And that show, I did some highlights on some stuff, because a woman was asking me about should a woman tell a man how much money she makes, and I said yes, because he needs to know what he's spending his money on and how much money you got to contribute to the situation. And the woman that jumped into the comment section, she was swearing up and down that women should keep their money in their pocket and manage their own finances, and men shouldn't be controlling women's money, and men use money to control women. And I'm sitting over here looking at like, kind of bull jive is that? And she snuck it in there with like 30 comments that had came in at that time, and I almost missed it. And I was like, oh no, you can't get away with that. I had to dive back in, and I had to break it down with it, because I'm glad that she had told me that, because I had to bring it up onto the show. And I might actually put her comment up on Sunday night's members only show, that we open it up to the public for the time being, and really just go in on the fact that she swore up and down that uh for some reason that women are supposed to be responsible for themselves and women are supposed to be responsible for their own money, which I can't disagree with that. But why are you responsible for the man's money too then? Like, you dictate what he can buy and what he can't buy. You tell him what to do in his own house. You don't follow instructions in his rules, his house, right? You should be able to do what he says do. But that's not what happens. You take control over the car, you take control over the house, you take care of control of the financial resources. And then if the man complains about it, you shame him for it, so that he doesn't complain about it, even though he still feels bad about it. He just continuously gets shamed for it, for feeling bad about it, so that he doesn't complain about it. But he's still following your instructions. He has to submit to your authority. I'm like, why is that the case? If he can't spend your money that you worked for, why are you spending his money that he worked for? I asked her. I asked her. She couldn't respond to that. I asked her because her mentality is that she should be able to balance her own budget and keep her own finances intact. Right. Now, why can't a man do that for himself? Now, that's where the conversation takes a spin, because I think about the fact that if you're living in the house, the landlord knows how much money you make to make sure that you can afford to pay the rent. You're going to take care of what you want and what you need, and I'm going to take care of what I want and I need, which means that we're just roommates. I still need to know how much you got to put on the table, because I got to know where your money stops so that I know where my money needs to start. So even though she feels like a man shouldn't know, a man doesn't need to know how much money a woman makes. A woman shouldn't know what a man makes. A woman should just accept a man for who he is and how he treats her, instead of a woman judging a man by the status of his career and judging a man by the paychecks that he gets from that career. Oh, well, I don't know what to tell you, bro, because truth be told, I was tired about 20 minutes ago, but I had to make sure that I talked to well, yeah, you should. You should take your behind to sleep. You shouldn't be up past your bedtime, because grown folks be talking in the middle of the night. This is adult swim hours. You're not even supposed to be awake right now. Children is supposed to be asleep. You know what I'm saying? So fact is that business runs late. So if you find talking about business and finance boring, if you find making yourself a successful man boring, if you find talking about how you deserve to be treated better by the woman that you're cashing out on as boring, then by all means, bro, go to sleep, because you've been asleep your whole life already. I obviously don't know who you are. I mean, I know that you're the person that's trolling my podcast right now. And since I know that you're the person that's trolling my podcast, I don't need to know nothing else about you, bro. That's really all I need to know. I need to know that you follow me, you see me, you like, oh, hey, there's that guy. And then you had the audacity to jump in here and try to be slick with your comments. And what am I supposed to say about that? But I'm not the kind of person to really give two shits about it. If you come up and you feel like you're disappointed at the fact that you don't have the knowledge of running on this podcast and talking about how to save money, spend money, flip money, then what you doing here? What you doing here? Because the other couple thousand people that's been rolling through here in the last hour had absolutely no problem with coming in here trying to pick something up. Had absolutely no problem with trying to learn something. Had absolutely no problem with trying to gain some knowledge. Had absolutely no problem following up from yesterday's show. So tell me, what you doing here? You feel me? Because that's really the question that we asking right now. What are you doing here? Trying to clown. Because I got to tell you, look, hey, I got people that like to hey, what do I call them? Fans. That's good. Um, congratulations. Congratulations. It's up to you, bro. But I know I ain't doing nothing strange for a few dollars, because I know that I can sit in this chair and I can turn over a whole lot more than $3 without having to degrade, devalue, or embarrass myself in any way, shape, or form, or say something stupid, do something stupid, or do anything out of my normal character. So, I mean, if you feel like you want to throw $3 at the podcast, you throw $3 at the podcast. If you find what I have to tell you valuable, if you find the information that I've got for you interesting in any way, shape, or form, you throw $3 at the podcast. You can do like Bricko mode and throw $50 at the podcast. You can make it rain. You can drop them in $5 at a time. Matter of fact, he was making it rain, and his dad came up here and learned some stuff about business and finance. So I mean, what you want to do? You know, that's up to you, bro. But I know that you know, regardless of the fact, um, I'm still gonna do me one way or another. That's just how I do. I still gonna do me. So if you bored, if you tired, if you sleepy, hey, it's up to you, bro. It's up to you. So what you want to do? What you want to do? Do you want to do you want to talk about money? Do you want to talk? Do you have a business that you want to get up here and promote? Do you want to give a shout out to one of your best buddies? You know, do you want to shout out to an ex that still got you in the friend zone? Like, what you want to do? Because see, one of the best parts about internet is that anonymity is the key. You can talk reckless on the comment section because I don't know who you are according to what you say. Because you could take a picture from anywhere on the internet and put it onto your profile and just dive in with email address. You just set up your YouTube account a couple weeks ago, and now you jumping in trying to talk to me. But I mean, really, if you was the kind of person that was like, oh, you know, I know you, bro. We go way back, bro. Then you'll be able to click the link and approve the mic, approve the camera, and then when I confirm who you is, and throw you into the green room, and we can have us an open conversation up in this bitch, because that's what we typically do on this podcast. We typically have everybody up in. Matter of fact, when Ken gets here on Friday, we're gonna have a small business owner, a content writer. So I have a small businesses up here. We're gonna have the gentleman from the how you doing, Oda? The gentleman from I can't remember the name of the company off the top of my head right now, but I got to touch base with him. He's supposed to be making some tracks for the show, and as soon as he gets back, 3 songs he's supposed to be making dedicated to the show, and we're gonna be putting that stuff somewhere where people could be like, "Yo, that's dope," and they can go pick that up. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, what we do is, how is you? Hey, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I, I got a couple people jumping in here with bad attitudes, and I'm like, hey, jump in here. I don't care. I don't care. I'm the one. They got the right podcast, because I definitely interact with the fans. I have no problem with giving you guys a nice conversation. Um, like I said, I had a long day because I had spent the last 2 days taking care of my clients in Asia, and one of the things that I was dealing with was that even though I'm my own boss, I got a lot of work to do. I put in 18 hours a day. I get 4 to 6 hours of sleep. I got to eat and stuff to that effect. And I was sitting over there talking about how proud I am of the fact that even though I am overworked because I put in a lot of hours, I choose to put in a lot of hours. I'm not forced to put in a lot of hours, and then I make a whole bunch of money on the back end. Oh, you do music? Well, uh, I got a couple folks that do music. As a matter of fact, I got a producer that is a good friend of my father's. They go way back, I think 15 years. Me and him was supposed to be linking up so that he could potentially come up onto the podcast and talk about his product. I have not brought him up yet because I've been dealing with some scheduling, and I got to get everything linked up so that I can get him in. But since I already got another artist that's supposed to be coming up onto the podcast, I'm probably going to do the same thing and just bring him up after the first guy, because the first guy is making tracks exclusively for us. And then this other guy is somebody that's just like a friend of the family. So I'm going to get him up and talk about his skills and what he's got going on with his music at the same time. And then we'll see what we can do about getting everybody lined up. But I mean, we got if you like the podcast and then go into the channel, you'll see the information at the bottom of the profile page where we've got an email there, and you can send me an email and we can see what you got going on with the tracks that you have, and if in the event that I can do something for you to get your stuff seen or heard somewhere, then I'll figure something out, and we'll work out however we can get things going. You tell me, hope it goes well. See, I appreciate it, but I can tell you that sarcastically when people tell you, well, I hope that you succeed, I mean, that's implying that there's a possibility that I won't. It's a lot like when people tell other people that, oh, you've got potential to be great. What they're really saying is that you're fucking up and you're not making all the right decisions. And while you could be better than what you are, you're currently not. The difference between potential energy and kinetic energy is the fact that the potential is having the ability to do something that you're currently not doing, even though you're not, which inherently makes you a failure. It's a self-made failure because you could be better. You're just not. So, I appreciate the compliment when you tell me, hope everything goes well, but I'm going to be real with you. I'm already successful. It just depends on how successful will I be. Will the people that I do business with be successful with me, or will I be successful on my own? Nobody's 100% a self-made man, no matter how successful you become. At least one person helped you get there. Multitudes of people help you get there when you get to the top. And the fact is that while appreciation can't be spread around like a Declaration of Independence, the fact is that you can recognize that you didn't get there by yourself. So being humble and paying homage to the people that help you become successful is something that I always encourage people to do. But I also recognize that you only get to the top because you don't quit trying. No matter how many times you fail, you always keep trying. But doesn't matter if you have loads of small viewing. It only takes a couple people to get you to the top. That's right. Well, you also have the fact that you could have a small quantity of views and they be long views, or you could have a large quantity of views that be short views, and you get revenue off of the ads. You don't get revenue off of the length of time that they're on your video. So if they were on your video for 2 minutes and they got caught by 2 ads while they were on your video, you still get paid when it comes to that. But when you start talking about the other things that I'm getting paid for, because I'm getting paid for product endorsements, I'm getting paid for branded content. I actually got some branded content, got a lot of things. I got a lot of branded content that I end up dealing with on a regular basis. That keeps coming through, that the people keep sending me stuff, those box openers, that I got some stuff that I can't even reach. I got stuff that people bring through that it's just, I got boxes everywhere. I got the Boxo box that I just did a video on earlier this past week that just came through, and box wine that comes through, and I get paid for the video that got made, bro. It don't matter whether or not they sell a product or not. The fact that I talked about it, I got paid for it. So I'm making money. So when you said, hope it goes well, I mean, I know you wasn't trying to patronize me, or at least I hope you wasn't trying to patronize me, but the fact of the matter is that I'm already successful. I'm already getting paid to do this one way or another. And this isn't the only thing that I do. I've got at least 3 other businesses besides this one. Yes, this is a business. This isn't a hobby. I'm not just sitting over here talking on a thing, doing a nice vlog. I'm not doing like a little video journal. I get up here and I try to put in 1 to 2 hours at the most, because 3 hours is when I have very awesome people that I'm talking to that are extra engaged on the topic at hand, where we are enlightening and educating individuals. But I present a little bit of information, and then after I get all the information out and do my little spiel, and then I go and cover the contracts that I got, because I've got a lot of clients in Asia. I got a few of them in Zimbabwe, Brazil, Portugal, right, and Canada. I got a lot of them in the United States too. But I mean, the fact that the largest majority of my clientele is in Asia, I work overnight. So after I finish with the podcast, I go to work. And then after I go to work, I go to bed. And then when I wake up, I go do the podcast. So a lot of music artists find it hard to sell merchandise because it's normally clothing. Uh, but I really would like to see like some products. I mean, that's the thing though. So it's hard to sell. The fact that one of the best things that happened to sales was that it started being sold online so that the marketer of the company could make more money, because instead of them having to pay a bunch of employees to watch you and keep you from stealing it and all this other stuff, they could literally just advertise it online. You buy it from the warehouse, which saves them from renting a bunch of stores, and then they could just ship it to you, where they have the limited quantity of workers working at the warehouse, packaging up orders individually and mailing them out to the individual person. And that makes them so much money. But music being digital online, it's harder to sell now because everybody wants free stuff. So they want to be able to sample your music for free instead of paying the $3 for the track. People who have iTunes pay for the track, but most of the other people get their music off of YouTube if it's posted on YouTube, or SoundCloud or some other places that people use music from. And then the thing is that the artist doesn't always get paid, because just like back in the day, because I'm old school, so just like back in the day when we used to listen to the radio before we had Pandora, before the internet, before 2009, uh before Shopify and Spotify came out, we used to listen to the radio for our favorite songs. We used to have a cassette tape, and we didn't always buy cassette tapes. Some people gave us cassette tapes. We sometimes had cassette tapes that was handed to us that had information on it, and we would record over that information by taking a little balled up piece of paper and putting it into that cassette tape, and then putting it into the tape player, and then pushing the play and the record button at the same time. But we would have to wait. We couldn't just do it whenever we felt like it. We had to wait until the DJ shut up, and then we hit record. So sometimes we don't get the song at the very, very beginning where we wanted to, but we can get it close enough to the beginning where the DJ ain't talking. And we would make mixtapes like that. And the artist wasn't getting paid for us copying it off of the airwaves. Nowadays, you could take a snippet tool, you could play the music on your laptop, you could take a snippet tool, and then you could record it with the snippet tool. Then you could take that same soundtrack, put it into a video editor like Microsoft Clipchat, and then you can cut out the video, keep the audio, save it as an MP4, and then upload it to iTunes for free. So you could literally get your own. You ain't got to pay for nobody's tracks if you didn't want them. But it's harder. So it's harder for people who have music, to who do music for a living, to make money. But when they make money, they make money. But those the boys that be out there by the Walmart and the laundromat and Home Depot selling their CDs in the parking lot until they get big. But when they get big, they go from being starving artists, which is where the term starving artist from, because you broke as fuck, until somebody give you a record deal. But one of the things that very few people who create music do is they fail to create a track, make 1,000 copies, and mail it to all of the uh, 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 albums or labels that could potentially contract them out. They sell their CDs individually on the street to get street cred, and then hopefully take the profits from the stuff that they sold on the street so that they can go get more studio time so that they can drop more albums. So they got a bunch of underground mixtapes, but they could have took one of those underground mixtapes, make 1,000 copies of it, and send it to 1,000 record labels and see which one of them pick them up. If your stuff is hot, they're gonna pick you up off the first track. They just don't do it. So he says, see, when I listen to most music on vinyl or on mixtape, it still sounds more real to me. It sometimes it is if you got good sound equipment. They don't use musicians anymore, so you don't have true music. You have an auto-tune background or something to that effect, where the music was kind of digitalized, and then you have somebody singing or rapping to the beat. is the best that we get in modern times. But the first time you get an artist, and it's expensive for an artist to do, which is why artists don't do it very often. The first time you get a live band or an orchestra to play music behind your lyrics, bro, everybody buying that. As long as what you're saying is not directly offensive to a specific social group, everybody's buying that. He said, is it a thing like Spotify, iTunes, YouTube Music? What does affect music industry? Um, they got a bunch of them out there. So many of them out there that's affecting the music industry because everything is going digital. I think there was one that was like Dax or something like that. That was another music one. One of the ones that's banned by YouTube. Uh, you got pirate apps that pirate music. So there's a lot of places that do it. YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and SoundCloud are some of the most dominant ones that we could think about right now. Pandora has the music, but they're not as versatile. They're more like a playlist situation, not like collect your music and create a playlist. It's like a preset playlist kind of situation where you select a style or genre of music, and then Pandora will play similar style music to the song that you selected. And the similar style music will become the playlist based on that particular type of song, where the song that you selected to start the playlist becomes the cover of that playlist. But you don't control the songs that are on that playlist. Pandora just sends you a bunch of similar songs. Spotify gives you the ability to customize your stuff. Also have offline mode, and iTunes also does the same. YouTube also does the same. But Spotify is the primary account is on the desktop. So the cell phone is the secondary account. So when you send it to the cell phone, you can't manipulate it the way you manipulate it on the laptop or the desktop. But you can use offline mode, where if you downloaded the playlist to your cell phone, even if you lose service, you still be able to listen to your music. Um, Spotify was one of my favorites, especially as a college student, because they have college rates. YouTube has college rates. I'm not a college student anymore, so I don't get college rates. So YouTube Premium is like $14 a month right now. Um, Spotify is something close to that. iTunes is really is last time I seen iTunes, it was between $10 and $20 a month. Which again, if you're paying all that money a month to have access to a music list, it should be free after that. But some people actually for iTunes have to pay money to buy the song so that they can play it offline. And that's not me. That's not me. That's not me. Um, I don't have a problem with listening to the music. I don't have a problem with somebody playing the music in my presence, but I do have a problem with paying $3 to $5 per track to have songs in my collection when I work too much to listen to music that much. Like, I think the most effective thing that I've got going on right now is the 20, what is it? I'm paying $19 a month for 4 channels on Netflix, four devices on Netflix. And the only reason why I'm paying so much is because I'm paying for my Netflix and my homeboy's whole family. Some good Samaritan. But beyond that, because I don't watch regular TV, because regular TV is depressing. Because they're only talking about natural disasters, who got hurt, who got killed. So I don't want to. I go and watch Netflix because it makes more sense for me to, if I'm going to entertain myself, I'm going to entertain myself with something that doesn't make me feel concerned about leaving my house every day. You know what I'm saying? I don't even sit there and watch a lot of the YouTube and TikTok videos where they're doing those police encounters where the police are being dicks. I don't even like watching those very much because, regardless of what people believe, that more often than not, you have a smaller quantity of people that are in uniform that are unnecessarily dickish versus the larger quantity of them that may make better decisions and treat people right. The people who are dickish have more encounters with the general population than the people that are not. which means that those of us that are experiencing the bad cop more often than we get a chance to come across a good cop actually are really negatively exposed to the boys in blue. And, you know, I don't want to be sitting there watching YouTube channels, and then when I get pulled over because they got the wrong guy, they walk up to my car and then I have a bad attitude because of all the YouTube videos that I've been seeing. Like, oh, yeah, you do this to people all the time. I'm not that kind of guy. I feel like they need to go on ahead and do their thing. If you pull me over to give me a ticket, give me a ticket. If you pull me over to get my autograph, get my autograph. But either way it go, I got places to go and people to see, and I'm not going to hang out here too long. So he said, I make all my music myself. If I play guitar, violin, bass drum, piano, I have a studio full of instruments. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. I said, would you agree with this? I believe society nowadays is sad because of things like TikTok and stuff. That is why Arkansas, because internet doesn't have feelings, that is why Arkansas is suing TikTok. The state of Arkansas, I did a show on this a couple weeks ago, last week or the week before that. TikTok's being sued. TikTok and Facebook is being sued by the state of Arkansas in the United States because the users, one, they're manipulating user data. Two, the youth is being exposed to the adult content. And three, extensive viewership of the content tends to cause depression and other sorts of behavioral disorders in the children, short attention spans, and everything to that effect. I've come to find out, I mean, I'd be doing really long podcasts, like the hour long, 2 hours, 3 hours long. I know some guys that I aspire to be on their level one day that they're doing 6 hours in one sitting. I ain't got that kind of strength. Not by myself. I got to get up and go to the bathroom, get something to drink, stretch my legs out. I know some of these guys on a whatever podcast, they be doing 6 hours straight podcasts. They only do it twice a week though, but the fact that you sit in the same spot for 12 hours, bro, that's motivation, but they getting paid. They getting paid. But the fact is that the people who watch it have an attention span where average person is 15 to 30 seconds. And if you don't catch their attention in that first 15 seconds, they're gone. If I haven't said something on this podcast in the first 15, 20 seconds that somebody was listening to the podcast on the shorts reel, because I'm on the shorts feed right now. So something about my glasses, something about the background, something about my Mr. Rogers sweatshirt had somebody say, I wonder what this fool talking about. Click the button and came in. And if I don't capture them in that first 15, 20 seconds, they're scrolling. See what I'm saying? So I do this on a desktop. I got it on a desktop, but I got it on a 9x16 format instead of the 16:9 format, because if I do it, YouTube is converting all of the content creators to focus on the cell phone user, because they're directly competing with TikTok, who also is catering to the cell phone user. TikTok does have a desktop live, but I mean, it sucks. It's worse than Streamlab, which is why I use StreamYard. And you see the links to all the people that I support, because I got StreamYard, I got Opus Clip, I've got vidIQ, Temu. If you know anything about that, if you want to buy some more equipment, get it from Temu. You click the link down below, get your discount. But because all of your studio equipment, unless you're trying to get like top notch, net brand name, whatever. They've got soundboards, they've got equalizers, they've got laptops, they've got everything that you need to run a studio. Microphones, the noise cancellation, padding, and everything that you need to create your own studio at the house. And Temu is selling stuff at like 10 to 20% of the total price of what it normally would be bought. And it's brand new stuff. It's brand new stuff. So I'm like, I'm going there first. If it ain't there, then I'll go somewhere else. I go to Amazon last now. I go to Amazon. I'll be mad. I'll be dragging my feet. I'll be dragging my feet to go to Amazon, man, because Amazon be expensive as hell. And it ain't even no better than anywhere else. If I could find it exclusive from the manufacturer, I'll probably go directly to the manufacturer before I go to Amazon. But a lot of stuff is Yamaha. Yeah, a lot of stuff is Yamaha, but Yamaha is not the best of the best of the best of the best. They say Dre Beats is good because of the bass that they put into it. But it's not the best of it. JBLs used to be really good. Pioneer systems used to be very good. They still are very good. They're more renowned for car stereos, but the fact that they're utilized for scraping the coast, modded car competitions, I mean, you could get the same type of stuff for your house. It just costs a lot of money, and I just feel like that's a waste of money. I'm not going to spend a bunch of money on 32 speakers and 18 monitors and 10 cameras so that you can see me in 5 different camera angles so that I can try to piece together a really cool video for the fans where I have like a frame change every 3 seconds to keep the attention of the people with short attention spans because they always swiping up 4 to 6 hours on TikTok. I don't got time for that. Well, that is the thing. The sound is going to be what you make it, the effort that you put into it. You seen your boy on Hustle and Flow. He was able to make a beat in his house by asking his homeboy to turn down the music. He was able to drop a track. It's hard out there for a pimp. I mean, he was able to make that a thing. I know it's a movie, but I mean, people real life do stuff like that. It's like, hey man, I'm trying to do something big. Can you turn it down a little bit and I make it worth your while? That makes it work. So you got to put effort into your own success. And that's what a lot of my podcasts are about, is a few things. One, you got to put your effort into yourself and not blame other people. You've got to exactly spend hours on it until you finish it. You got to come back tomorrow as soon as you wake up and get back into it until you finish it. And then as soon as you finish it, you start another one. You're not just going to say, okay, I'm done, and just leave it. You're going to go back and go do you another one. And by the time you get rid of this, the first one, you working on a third one and putting the second one up for sale. This is how you make yourself more successful. But you're always looking for another way. You're always trying to maximize your time and minimize your effort so that you can maximize your effort to maximize your time just that much more. There's also the fact that your opportunities come from the connections that you have. So I'm always out there trying to connect to better people. I'm always out there trying to network and find better people that are more genuine, that are more business driven. I don't really want to shoot the breeze in talking to my homeboy about bullshit. I really don't. I really don't. I talk like right now today. I can tell you one of the closest people that I know. I call him probably once a month or once every 2 months, uh, to see how his end of the business that I started up is running. That's it. That's it. How you doing? I don't do that stuff. If you not with me making money, man, if you not with me trying to make money, I don't have time. I don't have time. I did 3 shows about how the hustle mentality is not good for you because it's going to negatively impact your social interaction. And I'm gonna tell you, if I ain't making no money, I ain't trying to hang out. If we not sitting over here brainstorming trying to find ways to make money, I ain't trying to hang out. So and my mentality is like that because the people that are around me, if you broke because I let you be broke. Because first person accountability, I'm responsible for what I do, and I'm responsible for the stuff that I allow to happen around me. So if I don't want to be around broke people, I'm not going to allow you to be broke, but I'm not going to give you my money so that you're not broke. I'm going to help you make money for yourself so that you're not broke. But if you're willing to be broke and you're comfortable with that, then I'm not going to be around you when you're broke because I'm not broke and I'm not trying to spend money on broke folks. Because if you ain't trying to spend money on me, why am I spending money on you? This is when we start getting into relationship topics when a female start talking about a woman should manage her own money and a man shouldn't tell her what to do with her money. And I tell them, well, ma'am, you shouldn't be telling a man what to do with his money. You shouldn't be telling him you want to go shopping when you're implying that you want him to put gas in his car, drive you to the mall in his car with his gas money, and then spend his money going to 30 different places because you want to buy some expensive shit to make yourself feel better. And the most he's going to get out of that is clapping some cheeks. Like, that makes no sense. And that's one of the things that we do in this podcast to say, hey, we got to make it make sense around here, because if you're trying to make yourself successful, you're not supposed to distract yourself with bullshit that's going to drag you down. You're not going to distract yourself by wasting money. You're not going to distract yourself partying and having a good time. You're not going to distract yourself by investing in other people's fuck ups. And investing in other people's fuck ups is traffic tickets, jail, hospital bills, not paying a light bill on time, water got cut off, phone bill got cut off, storage unit about to sell all my shit, whatever the fuck you got going on. Car broke down because you didn't pay for the general maintenance. Car got towed because you parked it in the wrong spot. I don't got time for that. I don't got time for that. I'm trying to make money. You know what I'm saying? When I got more money than I can spend, then we can talk. Because that's when I'm at the finish line. But as long as I'm on this marathon, I'm not about to stop and take autographs and do interviews when I still got a race to win. Because the bottom half is looking for the final product. They looking for you at the finish line. They not willing to be there at the start of the race. They're not willing to help you get through the race. They're not going to carry you to the end of the race. They want to be at the finish line, and then they want to talk to you as you cross the finish line. So really and truly, you're supposed to be working on your grind, because if you're wasting your time talking to people that don't appreciate you or value you for who you are right now today, they don't deserve to know you when you are more successful than what you are today. So if they're not willing to talk to you today, why is you talking to them? Why is you wasting your time? Because the whole fact of the matter is that men have been confused to believe that we are supposed to be peacocking out here to impress them. For what? I'm not supposed to impress nobody, male or female. I'm not out here to impress nobody, because the whole fact is that if you're with me to get money out of my pocket, you're supposed to be impressing me so that I can spend my money on you. So if I'm not impressed, then what the fuck am I doing here with you? Which is why your boy that came up right before you got on, when he was over here trying to talk cash shit, trying to make it seem like the podcast is boring. It's an adult podcast. It's not supposed to be funny. This ain't a comedy skit. I'm not up here trying to make you laugh. You might take off laughing because I'm telling you some real shit and I'm not filtering it out. But the fact is that I'm telling you what's real. And then you take it to the bank. You can cash it. You can get some change off of it. One of the things that I do, I tell you all the time, I come through with so many facts that I tell you guys all the time that if you don't believe me, you can ask the Google woman. You can get on to Google and hey Google, and Google will tell you exactly the same stuff that I'm telling you. But I got details that Google don't have. So when I be throwing them details out there, you start connecting the dots. And when you connect the dots, you like, whoa, critical thinking. That man was on point the whole way through. Same when I was connecting the dots as to who was going to come out of the finals. And guess who came out of the finals? Exactly who I said it was going to come out of the finals. I called the winner in June. I did a follow-up show and recalled the winner in July. When they gave him a case dismissed off of a guilty verdict, I said, look, there go the winner right there. I called it. I did about 21 shows over the past 30 days about how to get your money up, set up your own business, make your money, make money for you, because I already knew that we was about to become a capitalist country for 2025. Whoo. He said, it's like anything that you value. It's true. It's like if the more you put into it, the more that you get out of it. He says, you are supposed to do dress your work to impress, to lead. And that's why I'm on the show. This is like the worst I've been, is a sweater. Cashmere sweater, by the way. It's a really nice one. Typically, I'm in a suit. You look at all the other podcasts, suit and tie. Suit and tie. I was that busy today that I didn't put on a suit and tie. But the rest of the last 365 days out of the year, the last 400 videos that you've seen of me on here, I've got a different suit on every day of the week. I'm always look for business. I'm not out here pants hanging off my behind. I'm not out here long white tees. I'm not out here with do-rags and bandanas. That's low class behavior. I ain't trying to do that. I'm not out here with my shoes untied, with them tied into pretty nooses so that, looking stylish. So that when I decide to run, I'm running out of my expensive ass shit. I ain't doing all that. Then I'm not buying all this expensive ass, because why are you buying $300 pair of shoes when you can buy a pair of shoes for $50 and still be stylish? The rich are rich because they don't waste their money. Usually on your way up to wealth, wealthy or semi-wealthy people spend 1/3 or 1/10. So if you got enough money to buy 10 of them, you can buy one. But if you don't got enough money to buy two, you don't buy any. So guess how often they turn down self-temptation to buy something. They don't impulse buy, because if I can't afford to buy twins, I ain't buying one. If I can't afford to buy them in sets, I ain't buying none. So every time you think, oh, that would be cool, I wish I could get that, think about all the many times you're going to pick that thing up after you buy it. Doesn't matter what it is. Think about all of the times that you're going to pick that thing up after you buy it. And if you can't find 365 scenarios that you would do every year to make that thing worth getting, it ain't worth getting. It ain't worth getting. You get clothes every day because you can't be naked. You get food every day because you can't get hungry. You get hygiene materials because you can't be stinking. You got shoes on your feet because you can't be barefoot. Or what else beyond that do you need? You got a cell phone to communicate with people because you got to connect. But do you need all of them apps on your phone? Absolutely not. So he said, to be honest, you're the first one to actually have a point of view I can agree on. We'll make sure that you like and subscribe. Join the membership. When I start putting details down, I'll be throwing them into the membership for the members only. But I'm from the old school, though. I actually just had a birthday last week. And fact is that what people don't realize, last week today, matter of fact. But what people don't realize is that I'm from the last of a dying breed. You know, I'm an 80s baby, and 80s babies, we was taught respect. We was taught self-respect. We was taught to carry ourselves with pride, self-pride, and heritage pride. So we wouldn't do stuff that would embarrass ourselves. And if we didn't have enough respect for ourselves, we wouldn't do stuff that would embarrass our family. Wealthy people have that mentality. You don't say and do things in public that will embarrass the family, because your mistake could cause your cousin, your brother, your father, your auntie to lose their political position because you did something stupid one day because you thought it was cute. They teach their kids how to behave. The rest of the 99% of the population, oh, you can do whatever you want in this country because you're free. You can disrespect people because they can't touch you. You can act a fool out here, twerking upside down, dancing on the ceiling, swinging on a pole. It's a job. Out here street fighting and stuff, disrespecting yourself, making yourself look like plum D fools. And then when you decide that you're going to put that ridiculous behavior down, and then you decide that you're going to go out there and go try to find you a good job. Like Job under the tree, the person that's interviewing you right now, seeing you when you was degrading yourself. The person that's interviewing you right now, seeing you when you was disrespecting other people. You ain't that person. So this is the first time you're meeting that person, but this ain't the first time that that person's meeting you. I've been telling people on this podcast for the longest period of time that you are a walking business, whether you're a W-2 worker or not. You're a walking business. They're not lying to you when they tell you that your social security number is a stock option. You are a walking line of credit. You are your own corporation. That's why you got the capital letters in your name. You are a business. But aside from that, they don't tell you that your networking with other people depends on how you act when you're not on the clock. A lot of us get pissed off when our minimum wage job tells us that, oh, you represent the company when you're on and off the clock. You feel like, no, I don't. Either. Hey, yeah, I'm here 7 nights a week, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 5 Pacific. Sometimes we kick up a little bit late because the T-Mobile towers keep going down because they're putting in fiber. But I'm on every night of the week. You'll see me on for at least an hour every night of the week. I find a way to make it work. But I greatly appreciate you coming to the show. Like I said, if you subscribe, share it with some of your buddies. They might resonate with you. Then you can have 5 of your closest friends sitting there. Y'all could be hanging out, talking, collaborating with what I got going on, and jump in. You know what I'm saying? But like I always say though, you know, we gotta make changes with what we've been doing, because these days, like, we're wondering why we're not successful after we stop acting a fool when we was young. Then when we get grown and we start trying to apply ourselves, now we can't get certain jobs. Now we can't get hired on certain things. We got a felony. Now we can't go into government businesses, government job positions. You know, we made bad choices in our lives. Now we can't go and be that doctor, lawyer, teacher, whatever we wanted to do with ourselves. You know, we made bad choices, and now we got criminal records, and now we can't get into certain rental properties because of our bad criminal record. We done wasted too much money in too many places, and now our credit's bad. Now we can't buy the stuff that we want and need because we wasted our money in the past. The bad decisions that you made growing up that nobody told you that you need to cut that shit out, I'm telling you, every day of the week, cut that shit out. So you come to this podcast if you need some good advice on how to straighten out and make better decisions, because you're not going to become more successful for yourself if you don't come to a place somewhere where somebody's going to tell you that that shit don't make sense because you're too old for that. 4, 5, and 6, that's where that's supposed to stop at. 14, 15, 16 years old, when you can get out there and work for yourself, it should have already been stopped, because the stuff that you do as a child can resonate with you as an adult. Look at all these throwbacks that they got going on with the celebrities. They showing you baby pictures of people who right now in their 50s. We're in there go Valerie Walker. How you doing, Valerie? We're in a time and an era right now where we literally have our whole lives on the internet. Some people, you can Google their name and you can find out all the information that is in existence about them, where they live, who's in their family, what they do for a living, what their family members do for a living, the total net income of the house. Okay, you gonna correct me? Okay, Vera. It said Vera and I said Valerie. It's okay. How you doing, Miss Walker? And y'all know, when y'all diving up in here, if y'all ever want to jump up in here, y'all can always click the link and approve the mic, approve the camera. And if you're over the age of 18, throw you up here and you can talk in real time. But like I was saying, you know, we put ourselves in these positions, these compromising positions, and then after it's already been done, now we got to accept the consequences of our actions, because people can Google us. You ask me, how am I doing? I'm doing good. People can Google us, and because they can Google us, they're going to find everything that's ever been posted up about us. And the more you utilize a specific search engine, the more stuff that people can find out about you. So when you was clowning around on the internet, making a fool out of yourself when you was young, then when you get old and you start trying to cut that nonsense out, you can't call yourself trying to turn over a new leaf and do something different, because somebody can Google you and see all of your most embarrassing moments when you thought it was cool at the time. Now that you're trying to be serious, it ain't cool no more. You're not supposed to do that stuff. People say, oh, live your life with no regrets. You are not supposed to live your life with intentional mistakes, because that's where your regrets come from, when you deliberately screw yourself over. That's where regrets come from. The misguided folks will tell you, you know, live your life with no mistakes, and don't hesitate to do stuff because you never want to wonder what if you could have. No, you don't want to do something stupid. You don't want to do something dangerous. You don't want to do something that's going to compromise your future, because you never know what would happen if you would not have had the opportunity to do that. If it's meant for you to get that, if it's meant for you to have that, it can wait a little bit longer for you to get yourself together before you run over there and try to accomplish that. Just like completing all the side missions before you complete the main story. You don't have to walk through the main story all day, every day. But you don't have to stick to the side quests all day, every day neither. But the more successful you are with the side quest, the better you get with the main story. And that's what we got to do in life. We got to fit nothing. Even when you start up a business, it's a spider web of stuff that needs to be done. You got 12, 13, 20 different things that you got to start with at the same time. And you got to pick one and go for it. And until you get everything done, you got a plethora of things you got to do to get stuff started. Then when you start building, you got to expand, but you got to hire people, which means you got to interview people, which means you got to figure out what criteria they need to have in order to do the job. All of this stuff is key to being successful. So just to get to the automation, you've got to have enough people under your belt working, have enough people over them monitoring, have enough people watching the money that you can trust, making sure that the money is going where it's supposed to go before you can walk away from it and say, I'm done with this business. Let me go start with the next. That does not mean that 25 years down the line that business will be standalone. You might still got your finger in it somewhere. But that means, but at least you're not working as hard as you used to work. You're not working for somebody else to make them rich. Vera said, yeah, and I corrected my name with you because I want to make sure the search is correct. That's cute. I got so many people jumping into this podcast. It don't make no sense. It Vera, we gonna get your name right this time around. And then yeah, the post highlights is gonna have you in it anyway. So your name gonna get right one way or another, whether you're in the forefront or the closed caption on the back end, it's gonna get right at some point. So what got you coming to the podcast today, Vera? Because I know that we had a look like Oda, Joe Oda. He was a music producer, and we had a nice little chat real quick, and then somebody by the name of Judden. I don't know why you got saved, Judden. You talking about something? I don't know who he is. Like, I'm looking at his profile. I was supposed to recognize. Like, bro, we go to college together. I don't know. You got nothing to hide. What's up then? What you got going on? You slid into the podcast, so I know you see me on your feed. And I guess you've seen the cashmere shirt and sunglasses, and brothers talking about something, and everybody keep popping in. You just so happen to click that button to see what he was talking about. Or I was on one of them nifty tangents, and you're like, ooh, I like what he's saying. And you just could, or was it one of those situations where your thumb accidentally double tapped the screen and you just ended up falling into the podcast? I've done that before. I know how that is. And now that you're here, you're like, oh, he's making sense. Might as well hang out, see what's going on. I've done that before. Yes, yes, I try to be intelligent. I try to be intelligent. I really don't try to be intelligent. I'm a plum D fool from time to time. I have to be logical though. I have to be logical and rational about reason, because selfish desires are not going to make you successful in life with social interaction, and selfish desires is not going to make you successful in life in business. And selfish desires do not have to make sense. You want it because you want it, not because you need it. And spending a lifetime of fighting for what I'm entitled to, I do not have the mindset of fighting for something that I'm not entitled to just because I feel like I should have it. I don't agree with that. And then the trouble of justifying why you should have something that you want because you want it, where the only thing that really justifies it is the fact that you actually want it. I mean, that's not enough for people who are not you to agree and say, yeah, I think you're barking up the correct tree with this one. You know, that only comes from logic and reason and being able to rationalize the scenario. So I do a lot of rationalizations, because in business, in order for you to compromise where you can favorably receive enough out of the deal, you've got to be able to look at what your opponent wants out of the deal, how much of that you're willing to give up versus what you want out of the deal, and how much you believe your opponent is willing to reasonably give up. Because you could throw away a good deal, like the I think there was a basketball player, either a basketball player or a musician. Me and Mr. Pibbs did a show about it a few months ago, and the guy, he was offered a $3 million deal. Dude turned down a $3 million deal for a $5 million because he wanted the $5 million deal. He didn't get a $5 million deal. He got a $3 million deal. He didn't take the $3 million deal. He went back to the hood, did a few bad choices, ended up in prison, went from $3 million on the table to broke and in prison because he was greedy. Would you go into a good deal while indoors wearing shades? Um, oh, okay. So I think you think that these are for play. These are on my driver's license. These are on my passport. So once you've identified me, I will probably be the guy in the glasses. So when I walk up in a three-piece suit with these glasses on in a business deal, you know that you're talking to somebody that's about to do business. So yes, I would. Yes, I would. I would not sacrifice my health for the sake of money. So I'm not going to take off my prescription eyeglasses so that I could talk to somebody. If you're not confident in yourself to talk to somebody who's wearing shades on, who is designed to put money in your pocket, where the deal is actually designed, because I have a loan shark mentality. I'm good with 20%. You could take the rest of the deal if I can get 20% of the deal if I'm guaranteed money. So I get rich off of making you rich. So you invest in me and you'll get rich. If that don't make sense to you, nothing does. So if they're looking at me like, I don't want to do business with him, that's your loss. Because I mean, everybody else that becomes financially successful because they affiliate with me. I took a startup business, made it a $250,000 business inside of 12 months. So you don't want to do business with me, that's you. Do I believe that you should walk into a business deal with like vacation sunglasses on, like Oaklands or Ray-Bans or something like that, where you're in a business meeting with somebody that is trying to like your Scooby-Doo glasses on, the Walmart brands, or the ones that are like wrapped around your face like blue blockers with the purple multicolor. No, I don't think that's appropriate. But uh, the fact is that because you say prescription is part of the game is all. I make it look good. I make disabilities look good. You know, I have canes that are very stylish canes so that I can take a fracture and make it look like I'm not injured. But the fact of the matter is that still disabled. You know, I do not. Oh, perception. Yes, perception is part of the perception is all part of the game, but you got to also understand that prescription is part of the game too, because in order for you to do things that other people can't do, you have to have legal documentation that gives you authorization to do that. And one of the things that people don't pay attention to, because like you look at these, you're like, oh, dude's got shades. And then you look at my passport and the same shades were on my passport. You can't take a photo with your glasses on. You got to take your glasses off. I don't have to take my glasses off. Since I don't have to take my glasses off, I put on a three-piece suit and now I look like Will Smith from Men in Black in my driver's license photo, in my passport photo, which also plays to the tune that you will get pulled over by a police officer. They'll tell you to take your glasses off so that they can look you in the eye and confirm your identity when they can clearly tell that that is you. But they want to try to manipulate the situation and bully you into taking off your sunglasses so that they can look into your eye and see if you're lying to them. Well, you're looking at my driver's license, and it's a restriction that my driver's license requires me to have the glasses that are in the photo on my face, or I can't drive my car. So you can't ask me to take these glasses off at a traffic stop because I'm legally required to have them to operate a motor vehicle. So now I can pull strings. Since I have to have them to operate a motor vehicle, I have to have them to have my U.S. passport, which means Homeland Security is not going to ask me to take my glasses off to confirm my identity because I am the person in the glasses in the photo. So now I actually have higher class authorizations, which I have not figured out the star system yet on passports, because for some reason my passport has a 4-star on it. I understand a single star on a driver's license, but I have not understood what is the 4 and 5-star representation, because I do believe there's a security clearance there involved with the number of stars on a passport. And when I figure it out, I'm going to do a show about it so that I can talk to you guys. You said, too bad you can't have the word I on one lens and I'm blind on the other lens. Well, I'm not blind. I'm not blind, but that would be entertaining. I'm on one lens and am blind on the other ends. And I can see where you're going with that, but I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. Because I can see. I can see. I can see a target inside of 65 yards. I can see. And I'm more than positive that outside of belly buttons, I got all targets getting got inside of 65 yards. I can see. So I'm definitely not blind. No, I'm hinting towards the fact that I'm downrange. I can see downrange. Some people misunderstand when they think that, hey, No, I can see like those guys out there getting picked up by law enforcement because they like to take theirs with them to go buy stuff at the Chipotle. Oh, I can see. I can see. I can tell you what the target looked like 3 blocks down the road. I can just because there's some light sensitivity doesn't mean that I can. One thing about it though, it's not that I'm blind, it's the fact that I can see in a blackout. So while you need night vision goggles, I just need you to turn off the lights and I can still hit the target at 65 yards. I can see real good. I'm the one that's walking through the house in the middle of the night, picking up TVs and moving couches around. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one that's middle of the night in the kitchen, getting some cornbread and some red beans and rice. I'm the one that's in there. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely make it do what it do. But uh, I make sure that you like, subscribe though. You enjoy the show because we're here live 7 nights a week, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 5 Pacific. We start a little bit late from time to time because we have to work through the internet situation, but we're gonna get on time one day. We operate on CP time, so we're a little bit after the top of the hour, but we do start every day, and we do give it, like I said before, we give you guys a couple hours worth of field time before we walk up out of here. But uh oh, that's interesting. Weird because I'm half blind too and can see much better moving around at night, uh, but not while driving. So the reason why you can't see as well while driving is because of the glare of the street lights and the oncoming traffic. Astigmatism is a very, very fickle thing because it makes focus difficult. But when you get rid of the glare from the light in your atmosphere, you're actually able to focus quite well. When you stop dealing with the eye strain, and that's another reason why these are mirror tinted and polarized. So the eye strain that most people have when the high beams are on with the oncoming car because they don't know how to turn their high beams off, or buy better headlights so that they can see with low beams instead of having their brights shining directly in my face. I don't have to deal with that because this deflects 98% of light. So I can look directly into the headlights of the oncoming car and see that one of your headlights is out. I can see the stress in glass. So yeah, but it also gives you the ability to not have to strain your eyes as much, and because you don't have to strain your eyes as much, uh the flex is real because these are $804 a piece, so they're not cheap. That's what I was telling the other guy. They're not cheap. They're $399 per lens plus the frames. Okay, they're not cheap. Designer shades are not this expensive. So, and my health insurance don't even call themselves trying to cover that. You feel me? They offer me like 20% off on the total price or some nonsense like that. I got to go over by VisionWorks and get one of those buy one get one free sales so that I feel like I done paid $400 for it. I still had to pay the 805 one time to walk out of there with 2 pairs of frames, but it's still $805. You know what's so crazy about it? They have, it's called a G1 smart glasses. And I don't know if you heard about them, but I might end up getting with them and showing you guys about them on the show one day. They are $500 glasses. They're high-tech glasses. You've got like GPS navigation in the lens, you've got text going across the screen, you've got notifications coming across the on the glasses now. You can see it on your side, they can't see it on the opposite side. And these glasses start off at $500, $499, so $503 plus shipping. Put my prescription in those glasses, $823. How are high-tech glasses just came out in August, $20 more than these glasses here? I've been buying these glasses since 96. And I've been paying this price since 96, and they just now made high-tech glasses. if you go into the Vision Works with those on, you would have gotten a deal. That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. But Vision Works ain't everywhere, because on the West Coast, you find Vision Works in Tennessee. So you're going to have to travel a couple states to get there. If you on the East Coast, they got a Vision Works on every block. But if you on the West Coast, it's not so much so. So you got to kind of figure it out. You got to travel, which costs extra money. So I'm like, I don't mind paying. I got to talk to them. Talk to them. But, you know, if I got a high-tech company that's willing to give me some state-of-the-art glasses that's got GPS navigation in the glasses, that's got text message and email notification in the glasses, I could put the transcripts for my show on the glasses. Everything that I need on the glass, I could get them and call it an upgrade, long as they can fit this particular type of prescription. But either way it goes, though, and then from what I hear, the app, because it links to the cell phone, and the app for those glasses is a free service. So you're not even paying a monthly membership to utilize the service. I just buy the glasses and then I have unlimited service. I'm like, whoa, that's worth it. Almost like when Qualcomm Talk made the first smartwatch. I'm like, man, that's worth it. Technically, it's not, because I mean the only way I would benefit from it is if I was in another country, and because it does pick up conversation, and it does voice to text translation, which also means that if you're speaking in a different language and you're inside of the reception range of the glasses, it'll pick up what you say, translate it to words, and then I can read what you said in my language, which actually breaks a language barrier. That would be good when I travel in different countries. And then if I want to get navigation somewhere, I could put the navigation into the phone, into the app, and then it pop up on my glasses. So instead of constantly pulling my phone out when I'm in a strange place so that somebody can see that I have an expensive phone and steal it out of my hand while I'm lost, I could keep my phone tucked away and my glasses can tell me which way to turn. And then I wouldn't be lost. I would look like I know where I'm at and I know where I'm going, even though this is my first time here. And, you know, it does have its benefits. It's just really expensive for one pair of glasses. It's really expensive for one pair of glasses. So you can only imagine, if I got to pay $805 for these glasses, I'm wearing them all the time. If I ain't wearing them in my sleep, these are the flex bands. These are the Michael Kors flex bands, so that if I fall asleep with these glasses on my face, they can bend and I don't break the frame. Because I noticed that in your photo, it looked like you wear contacts. So if you wear glasses when you're at the house, and you fall asleep and you forgot to take your glasses off because you were looking at something, and then you kind of dozed off, and when you press your face up against something, it bends the earpiece. I got flex bands so that you don't have to worry about bending the earpiece. The earpiece stays straight. You don't have to worry about the back of your ear being sore because the metal was pressing into the back of your head. All that stuff. I spend a lot for comfort. But when I spend money on durability. I spend money on stuff that makes me more successful at being me. And then, because, like I said, I got to take a disability and turn it into a style. I've got to have the perception that this is a certain type of swagger that people would wish that they could have. Well, stigmatism is a sucky situation. They do have contacts for stigmatism. I don't do contacts because I'm not poking myself in the eye. I'll pull a thorn out of your eye before I touch my eye, but I'm not pulling no thorns out of my eye. I'm not putting contacts in my eye. I'm not that guy. So I do glasses. And that's why I found out that because I have such a prescription, I can fill out a form for the Department of Motor Vehicles and list all of the vehicles that I'm registered to, and then get a tax stamp that allows me to tint the front windshield 0% tint if I wanted to. It's not wise to do. The benefit of that is that I wouldn't have to wear these while I drive. I could wear clear frames in my car, but the downside that I would have two downsides with that. The first downside is I would have to roll my window down because they literally can't see in the car. And the second fact is that I get pulled over all the time because they can't see in the car. So it's a problem. And me, I would be the person that would say, my windows don't work, so I've got to get out of the car. You can't see what's going on in the car, but I got to get out of the car because my windows don't work. I got to get out of the car. I ain't rolling them down. My windows will work, but I'll lie and say they don't. But I would prefer to have clear windows or reasonably stock tinted windows so that I can roll them down a little bit. Perception in my swagger isn't no laughing matter. Gotta make that deal and got sex appeal. I got $900 shave, so sign on the deal. No, that's true though. Fact is, I'm always in a suit, so you'll never see me even on my day off, even on my time off. You'll never see me not in a suit. This is the closest thing to not being a suit was this sweater. And the fact that, and this probably last time you see this sweater, because last time I had this sweater, I actually had a tie on up underneath the sweater. I had on a collar shirt with a tie on underneath the sweater last time I had the sweater. So this is the first time that I am not wearing a tie in the last 2 years. You feel me? I'm always on this podcast, suit and tie. Now, I'm always ready for business. So you only see me looking successful, going somewhere to try to make money for myself, or trying to make money for somebody else where I can get a commission off of helping them make some money. So you'll never see me doing something that's going to embarrass myself. You'll never see me doing something that's going to degrade myself. You'll never see me doing something that'll devalue myself. Now, that leaves me with an upside for negotiations, because when I start talking to people, I'm highly articulable. I'm able to utilize my vocabulary in a more colorful fashion than most people. And then from that point, I end up in a position where I'm able to negotiate better. So a lot of people are going to admire the fact, oh yeah, you got $1,000 glasses on your face. It's sweet. And they'll admire that, but I'm sitting over here looking at the hard time that I have to explain to each individual person that I have to have that. I have to talk to a few. When I leave my house, there's a few hundred people a day that I have to tell them that these aren't done to be cool. So it is a little bit oppressive, but at the same time, it is impressive. So the confidence that I have, because I've had that conversation too many times in my life, it becomes second nature. But also at the same time, I also have to deal with social interactions. So I've got females that will want me to take my glasses off because they want to see my eyes. I'm a mystery man. And if you want to get to know me, you're going to have to hang around me for like 5 to 10 years. If you're not willing to make that kind of dedication, you don't want to get to know me. So I don't need to take my glasses off, because why would I compromise my health for something that's short term? Make it make sense for me. Then they want to take the glasses off my face, and I got to remind them that the glasses cost more than they do, so they cannot touch my glasses and they can't take them off my face. So that lets them know the value. Not the value of the glasses, the value I have in them. I don't, my glasses are more valuable to me than you are to me, because I don't know who you are. So I have to get to know you and place value on you. But once I've placed value on you, you're still not going to have me taking my glasses off in a well-lit building, because that's not what I do. I can go to jail and these glasses are going with me. Okay. I will be on gym pop, glasses on my face, chilling, looking at the guards. Like, you gotta have them. You said 5 to 10 years. I ain't even subscribed yet, but that's the point. That's the point. Think about in social interactions, you have females that want men to pay for everything from the first encounter to the engagement to the wedding to the rest of his life. It's his responsibility because he married the woman. It's his responsibility because he's a man. It's his responsibility before that. But at no point in time does anybody say, oh, well, I'm going to dedicate myself to you for an extended period of time because you're investing in me. Nobody's going to do that. Men have to contribute to society for the sake of. So at the end of the day, I'm that person. What's going on, fam? I'm that person that says, look, if I'm not getting dedication, I'm not going to put forth unnecessary effort into something that I have not valued yet. I have to appraise your value before I start investing. The same way you got to find out what my name is, and if you care about that, and then the next thing you try to find out is how much do I make? Because that's always a second or third question. Who are you? What do you do for a living? And how much do you make? That's like the top 3 questions that are asked to a man. To a woman is, are you single? Are you free? And what do you like to do for fun? But for a man, do you have a job? Do you have a car? Do you have your own place? So if that's what's important to the people that are talking to me, then I need to make sure that I got a 5 to 10 year commitment, because we got to do some contracts. Because if I'm going to be investing in you, I got to get my money's worth out of you. Because if I'm not, it's a wasted investment. I tell people on a regular basis, I say that you have to invest in your partner like a walking stock option. The more you get out of that person is going to be because of the more you put into that person. You invest in your children. The more you invest in your children, the more successful your children are supposed to be. If you don't invest in your children, you can't expect your children to reciprocate when they get older. You invest in your partner. You invest in your business. The more you invest in your business, the more your business gives you revenue back. The more you invest in a stock or a share or a bond or a Bitcoin, the more dividends that you're going to get from it. You never walk up on anything in life with your hand out because you cute. So I gotta put it down like that. Well, nice to meet you. I'll come back, man. I'm not that kind of female, but I understand I'm a different kind of chick. Hey, it don't matter what kind of chick you are. I appreciate you for coming to the podcast. Whenever you decide to jump in, we here 7 nights a week, so you can come in every night of the week if you like. I'm just saying that when it comes down to asking people to do things like jeopardize your health, we gonna need to see some long-term commitment for that. Because when you think about it like that, because if I told you that taking off these glasses so that you could see my eyes on this podcast could damage my eyes where I really couldn't see, do you think that a stranger is valuable enough for me to do something like that? And when you think about that, you say, no, that makes actually more sense. That's why I say you got to be committed, because if I lose my vision so that you can see my eyes for your personal entertainment, then will you cater to me because I can't see no more? And if the answer to that question is no, then why am I taking my glasses off? Because if you're not going to look after me because I did something for you just because you felt like it, and then I hurt myself as a result, knowing that I'm not supposed to take these off because doctors say keep these on at all times. That's why I got them on. That's why they're on my driver's license. That's why they're on my passport. So if I got that going on, then wouldn't that mean that it's not good for me to take it off? So why ask me to take it off? See what I'm saying? So you got to think about the people that are thinking about you. If they don't have value in you, then why are you trying to find value in them? If they do not appreciate you, then why are you trying to express so much appreciation for them? Why are you wasting your efforts on somebody that doesn't value you? That's not what we're about. Milo says, I choose to stay single, and now I'm going to Paris. That's what I'm talking about, bro. That's what I'm talking about. You stack your cash. You don't worry about these people. And then what you do is, after you finish stacking your cash, you get your passport card on top of that. That way you got 2 forms of ID, even if they take your driver's license, 3 forms of ID. Then you hop a plane, you go to another country, and you find a group of people that will treat you better than the American people treat each other. Nah. That's how you make it make sense. And then when you go into other countries where the US dollar stretched further than what it does in the United States, you could put your money somewhere else and your money will be worth more over there as it gains interest. You got some countries that are 10 to 1, 100 to 1, 1,000 to 1. You go over there with $10,000, that's like $1 million in some countries. It's $100,000 in other countries. And the standard of living is still the same. It's still a $40,000 lifestyle over there in their currency. But if you go over there with $10,000 of US dollars, that's worth $100,000 worth of money, you're going over there and you're living a $40,000 a year lifestyle with $4,000. Like, what? Take, for example, they got some countries where right now, like Japan, $8,000, $8,500 a year standard of living, middle class standard of living. You feel me? All right. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming. Make sure that you like and subscribe, because I'm actually about to wrap it up, because I done did 2.5 hours and I got a contract I got to fulfill. So I'm gonna be wrapping it up in just a moment. So I'll make sure I see you tomorrow when you dive in. But like I said, you got countries like Japan that's like $9,000 a year for everything that you could possibly need. Middle class lifestyle. Philippines is $12,000 a year. You see what I'm saying? You've got Switzerland and Sweden. That's like $13,000 or $11,000 a year. But you go to the United States now. I ain't even talking about middle class. I'm talking about lower class. You're looking at $55,000 a year for lower class. You got some places right now where you are living in a cardboard box for $70,000 a year. California and Florida. I'm sitting over here talking about some like the cheapest places you can go is like Arizona and Arkansas and places like that, where you're still paying $1,000 a month is a middle class lifestyle over there for the rent. When I was giving you the prices of the other country, it was the rent, light, gas, water, transportation, food, clothes, entertainment. Bro, like your whole standard of living was inside of that. In America, your rent be like $12,000. Your rent be $24,000. Then you still got the lights, water, gas, car insurance, phone bill, health insurance, food, laundry. And that's before you start throwing in entertainment. You're talking about some $60,000, $70,000 a year, as opposed to a country. If you think about $60,000 a year in the US, and then you go to Japan and it's a little over $8,000 a year, that's almost 1/7 of the standard of living for a middle class lifestyle. So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to stack your cash here in America. You're supposed to make your money here in America. And that's what we talk about on the podcast. We talk about making our money, stacking our cash. And if you can't find somebody that's going to make you happy here, that's okay. You go somewhere else. They'll make you happy over there because you got money. But you only got money because you focused on getting your money. So if you ain't focusing on getting your money, you need to start changing your focus, because right now in 2025, you got 4 more years of get it on your own before we could potentially have somebody put it all on the government's back. So that's all I have for y'all for today, because I just remembered I got a couple extra things that I got to do. So I want to make sure that y'all like and subscribe. I want to make sure that y'all join the membership. And remember that we're live 7 nights a week, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 5 Pacific. So before I walk out of here, I want to make sure that I tell you, ladies, as long as the situation doesn't make sense, ladies, I'm going to keep asking you to make it make sense. So ladies, please make it make sense. Again, I'm going to thank you one more time for coming to This and That, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. I'm your host, Xander, and I'll see y'all tomorrow night.